Hi everyone, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for another design team layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict. So today I am using this gorgeous carousel from release number 3. Do you ever find that you see cut files and you automatically think, I must have it? That was totally me with release number 3. And we just happened to be going on a trip to the zoo. And our zoo has a big, giant, old historical carousel. And I said to my husband, we're going on the carousel because I must have photos to use with this cut file. So I'm just putting a little bit of gesso in the background. You can hardly see it. It's really almost pointless. But the point of it is the center pole in the carousel is almost an identical color to the backing piece of paper that I'm using. So I just wanted to put that sort of messy white in the background of it there just to help it not fade into the background. I wanted that metal pole or that middle pole to still pop out on the rest of the page. And just that tiny piece of gesso was enough, along with having the cut file on foam. That was enough to get that popping out. So I have 4 photos. I'd originally done all 4 of them as 3x4 size, and I'd also done all 4 of them in this, 2x3 size. But I wasn't sure what was going to work best on this layout because it's quite a lot of photos with quite a big cut file. So in the end, I decided my boys are my feature. So I would use those as the big size, but we mums and dads often miss out, so I would still include us, but just include us in the smaller size. So I decided I would add on a few of these gorgeous floral pieces. I believe they are Pink Fresh Studio, but I could be wrong. Could be She's Lovely. She's magic. She's magic. I'm not 100% sure on that, so please feel free to tell me down below. Oh, sorry. I accidentally pulled the cord on my phone just then. Luckily, we're all back and it didn't cause too much drama to the screen orientation. Phew. That little black piece there says weekend activities, I think, or weekend outings. And I really wanted to include it, but because it's so dark, I had to include a little bit more black sort of around the page a little bit because there's not a lot of black on the page. My husband and I are wearing black, so that's okay, but I do want to sort of mirror the black in a few of the other clusters. So I do have a few other black pieces around that I'm going to include. I've got quite a few clusters going on in this layout. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's going to be like 4 or 5 clusters. I hope there's 5. I feel like an uneven number is the way to go here, but I can't remember. We'll have to check at the end. I did keep this layout really, really busy for such a big cut file. And I feel like the cut file sort of melds into the background a little bit here, which is sometimes the purpose of a cut file. I was a little bit unsure if I wanted to do it like that because I felt it was such a gorgeous, gorgeous cut file. I really wanted the cut file to feature. But then I found just with all the photos that I had that were also sort of more important, that I wanted to make sure I got all those photos on as well, that it just ended up in this way that the cut file got quite covered. I must say backing this cut file was a lot of fun, and it was really challenging to almost hold myself back. There are so many bits in this cut file that you could make it as intricate or not as you wanted. And I started like backing every little thing and realized that was going to take me a very long time. So I ended up giving myself the, what's the word I want there? Giving myself permission to keep it a little bit more big pieces of pattern paper, but I just used lots of different ones. So it is super colorful and super, super crazy. Do you enjoy backing cut files? Do you enjoy the process of doing a big detailed cut file like this? I do. I love it. Sometimes I get grumpy at how long it takes and I just want to start scrapping, but I find it is an awesome job to do when you're a little bit tired and your brain doesn't want to focus on actual decision making, or when you've got two small children that don't want you to be at your scrap desk or don't want to nap for that day, and they are happy to be playing on the floor of the lounge room, and you can just sit in that same space with them because you don't need to be in your scrap room specifically. All of that kind of thing just works really well for me. So I have finished my clusters. How many did I end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And I decided I wanted a few enamel dots or rhinestones just to feature on some of the little circle spots on the layout. You can see I've got quite a lot, but some of them are super old and losing their stick. So they need a little bit of help with some glue. I'm really trying to kill the ones that are loose and out of their packaging because that certainly doesn't help the stickiness of them. But I just don't use them enough, to be honest. So I'm trying to use them from my stash. I really need to make a stash basket where I have 5 challenge items for the month that I really want to get through. Or I need to pull out my Scrappy roulette again and just force myself to use a few more bits and pieces, but I'm getting there. So just popping those along the top. Obviously, if I didn't have my photos, I would have kept going, but they're covered anyway, so no need. It implies that they still keep going. And then 2 more in that little top crown section there. And I think that's all I'm going to do with my rhinestones. At first I imagined that I'd put them around the horses, but I think there's just so much going on down there with my clusters and my photographs that I'll just leave them be. So I just used the title Wonderful because we did have a marvelous time. We actually went on the carousel twice. Jack did not want to go on the first time, so he sat and watched us and really enjoyed watching us. He was very happy to watch us. And Thomas and Mummy and Daddy went on and everyone had a grand old time. And then as we finished, Jack said, actually, that looks really fun. Could I have a turn? And we said, yes, but you'll have to wait till the end of the day. And he was more than happy with that. We checked out all the zoo and then we went back and he had a blast having his turn on the carousel as well. He's very much like that, needs to process and check everything out first. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my layout. Check the description box for all the links you need and I'll see you next time.